We are the growth spot, rooted in a plan, built by 7 kings with the future in hand. Love, equity, growth, yeah, we stand on the land where the roots run deep in the Arizona sand.
All right, so again, my name is Brandy German. So I have a couple of businesses, one of which being, it's called the Sound Garden, and it's where I create sound baths that help whoever is listening really reset. It relaxes the nervous system. And so it allows you to just reset to your center. Allows people to de-stress. The sound actually bypasses the thinking mind, so you don't even have time to think about what you're hearing. Your body just recognizes the frequencies and resets to where it needs to be to get you to flow correctly. I also have with my husband a nonprofit called Saddles to Suits, and it's where we mentor the youth by teaching them horsemanship. And so we also provide horse lessons to anyone who's interested, and that helps us raise money to be able to provide the mentorship services to those in need. So we do that as well. And now I'm partnered with Farmer Miller with Alchemy Farms. So I come out here and help her plant whatever's needed, take care of the space, and just do whatever she needs me to do.
So this is a brand new partnership. So talk to me and tell me a little bit about what inspired the partnership.
I just think the past month we've had lots of conversations about just like what we want the business to kind of be, but also just
unintended.
There's just a lot of gratitude. We have a lot in common in that I'm also going to be helping manage their property. They have a 4-acre property in Tonopah. So
I was just in Tonopah, last week? Yeah.
All right. Well, soon you'll be able to go to a wellness area out there. So
come on.
Threaten us with a good time.
Come on now.
You know we'll show up.
Yes.
Honestly, though, I would just say, kind of just like divine timing. Kind of just like praying for the person to come. People to come into my life that can really orient towards collaboration from the perspective of helping the community. Very like-minded individual. Very grateful for her. Like she said, she helps me out with anything. She gets on me a lot of times because I need to delegate more. But I think it's just been more. This has all happened in a very short time frame. With the various educational expensive pieces of paper that I have, I'm just really looking for people who are interested in wanting to learn how to grow their own food, but secondly, just people that are wanting to just serve in the community.
Yeah.
So, just like-minded in various ways, various aspects. So,
okay.
Yeah, I grow a lot at home. So I always tease her and tell her that the technical knowledge that she has, I have just by learning, just by doing.
Yeah. I'm with you.
I'm like, I didn't know that had a name, but that makes sense. Yeah.
Pleasure.
As well. Okay, so we can. The person that was managing this property before me, they didn't really know what they were doing. Gratitude to them, but they also kind of cut back. Actually, to start in this area. Cut back a lot of the plants a little bit too far. It caused a lot of stress. It would cause them to die out. So even when you're pruning, you want to make sure that you're not cutting at like in a flat kind of blunt perspective because it's causing disease in the plant. So, and also they cut back way too many branches / trunks / stems, whatever you want to call it. Which just overall stressed the plant out too much. And I honestly was going to end up pulling it out, but you see that it's starting to flourish and come back.
Come on.
This is moringa. Really good for vision.
Yes.
People who have type 2 diabetes, high cholesterol, any comorbidity more or less. It's good. It's very bitter. People like to, I kind of say you can do it like the same way that you do a matcha, so I just dry it out and then blend it up and then like a little bit of honey.
I have some powder at home.
Yeah.
Some moringa powder at home. Yep.
So, I mean, you can do various things with it. So that's this. And then I just worked with an organization today that they are, oh my God, I can't remember. What is Shaq's business? But they basically do things that are oriented towards helping brown and black kids be more oriented with reptiles. So they bring snakes, lizards, stuff like that. So they've been helping me with like shade structures.
I met her.
It's a boy. Shaq.
It's a boy?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, maybe there's a similar organization, but I know at the Archwood Exchange,
yeah, I met them too.
They had a display.
My kids were
cool.
petting the
Yeah.
Awesome. That's super awesome. We'll just kind of keep going this way. But the person, like I said, that was managing it prior, all love to them, but they just didn't really have an idea of how to manage a property like this. This is mulberry. This is a weeping mulberry. It kind of looks like a little bit of like a poetry at the moment, just because it wasn't pruned correctly. So we're shaping things up around here. Mulberry is really good for anything digestion oriented. It's good for the prostate. Same thing, you can dry this out. Steep it, put it into a tea. Kind of has like more of a bitter taste as well. The berries that come off of it as well are all to keep you regular.
Okay.
So high fiber food. In here, we're not getting on here because her rocket has been attacking people. So we're just trying to be the distance. This coop is about 2 weeks in production. We got a moringa tree in here as well. Next year this will be for butcher birds, so we'll have meat birds in here. We've got ranges anywhere between like 4 and 8 month old birds in here. And then that was Rocket, who just squawked, but I don't know where he is. And he's just, you know, he's been testing the waters, and I don't want y'all to get he be testing the waters.
Enough said.
And here, this is gonna be more like tropical areas. I don't even really know how these strawberries are still surviving, but they are. We've got figs, which are the next things that are gonna come on.
Oh yeah.
So figs are super cool. What ends up, how they become figs, more or less. When it starts flowering out, a wasp will go in here. The plant will kind of cover like this, and that basically is what's feeding it to continue on. So nature is very oriented towards regeneration and recycling, 100%. Right? So why don't we
100%.
mimic it more or less, right?
Come on.
This is ficus. So really good for, you know, extracting oils. I don't know how to do that, but you do extract oils, and working with somebody who's going to be doing that. Putting it with the carrier oil can help with any type of like ailment, kind of like a more natural neosporin kind of situation. That's this, more moringa trees. There's a fig back there as well. This is bamboo, so it takes some time to get established, but once it is established, it grows 6 inches per day. So everything in here has a function. So I do a lot of chop drop methods, where I'll cut it, chop it up, and that's basically what's feeding the soil, just like it's in forest ecosystems.
Yeah.
So I don't spray anything here. We really just make sure that we're managing correctly. There's no pesticides, herbicides, none of that. No sides here. It's just the nature does what it does. Also, in a lot of Asian cultures, they eat the leaves. There's even like, I can't remember the specific name, but they will roll this up kind of like they do dolmas, rice and beans, steam it. Not beans. I mean, there is red bean paste, stuff like that. It just depends on the orientation of the culture. That's this. So that's all on this back side of the property, which also serves as a windbreak. We've got grapes over here. So same similar thing. Just like I explained, that the bamboo leaves can be wrapped up for some sort of cultural meal. Same thing with grape leaves. So like dolmas, a Mediterranean culture, rice, meat, and they steam and then they eat it. So everything has a function. Everything has a purpose. We're really just trying to orient towards getting back to more of a regenerative way of living. So these aren't on completely, but I have been giving people a couple of them to try if you guys would like to try some.
Absolutely. Okay, yeah.
Wow. I love that. It's a real grape.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a question.
Yes.
How do you determine what sort of vegetation you tend to here? Is it sort of like a variety approach? Is there a level of experimentation? Like, hey, I don't know if this is going to work, but we're going to try something here.
Just creating the microclimate. And then having passive shade as well. So with the shade cloths, because we have some trees that kind of got butched back quite a lot. Mm-hmm. I mean, you want more desert adaptive things, but if you have the right microclimate, you can grow anything.
You said anything. Like anything?
Anything.
Interesting. Okay.
Microclimate. You need passive humidity. I mean, obviously I don't have like an area to grow like rice. There's no like rice terraces here. But other than that, like, I'll show you guys the koi pond and stuff too, but like, you could grow.
Okay, good. So that's what you're using to feed your water? Mm-hmm. That's what's up.
Yep.
That's good to hear, because I'm certainly not the one to gauge this on, but I've tried things that I've just wanted to see what could happen with it, and I failed miserably. And some people would state that, hey, you actually can't grow that in the desert. But
Microclimate.
Yeah.
You have the right microclimate, you can grow anything.
That's my answer from now on.
You have the right
I'm gonna
microclimate.
use that.
Okay, we'll keep going this way. It's a little wet right there because we're doing deep
perfect.
water. More moringa. And here, like I said, in any like permaculture-oriented aspect, or in a forest system, there should be aquatic environment. And the fish waste I also put into the compost. So it comes out on the back side of the pump.
Everything has a purpose.
Everything has purpose. So, yeah. Quite a few koi. This pond is 9 feet deep. We have a few pregnant mamas in here as well.
Yeah.
Koi are super, super cool. They can they'll come out on the rocks and they can be out of water for a period of time.
Really?
And then they'll just very spiritual fish.
Nice.
So let me ask, what drew you to farming and nature and eco environments, all of that? What drew you to
Remaining curious as to why we're doing what we're doing still as a society. Critical thinking. But also, I've always been like a why child, so it's like not out of the realm for me to have done it as an adult.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I was telling him, so I'm just going to put this back in here. Like my undergraduate degree is in pre-med biology. I have a minor in psychology. I was really oriented towards just trying to understand why health is the way that it is.
So-called health.
So-called health, yes. So that, but then also just kind of, and then I took a gap year, worked as a patient care technician and a medical scribe. And kind of during the pandemic, I was just like, yeah, this is not it. Got into PA school, took an ethics class. In the ethics class, I was like, no, listen, honey, I don't want to be a licensed drug dealer. So with that, but so then I went for more prevention. So my first master's is in clinical nutrition for the naturopathic modality. I went to Sonoran University, or was previously called Southwest College of Naturopathic Medicine and Health Sciences.
So you're a Phoenix native?
Yeah, I was born here. In that, I just feel like there was still a lot of stereotypical aspects of just what brown and black health is.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, there's not a lot of us in those spaces, so how do they really know? I was on a couple of DEI boards for it, but obviously going up against bit larger institutions, unless you're really just I'm not doing this, then it's kind of just it is what it is, unfortunately. But for me, it's not, because I'm not doing that anymore. Then I went after that program. I thought I was going to go into chiropractic care. And then I was like, no, that's not it either. So then I was like, okay, farming. I always had a garden growing up. I grew up rodeoing. I rodeoed for CBSC, which is Chandler for Curious Saddle Club. In 2009, 2010, I was our CBSC rodeo queen. This is here located here. Yeah. And yeah, I think I played basketball in college, so I kind of had got away from more agriculture-oriented things. But we always had a garden. My dad grew up Mennonite, which is a delineation of Amish.
I know, I'm from Arkansas, so
Okay.
we got a good population of Mennonites in Arkansas.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, my grandfather was a farmer as well.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, sharecropper, technically.
Oh, cool.
But
yeah, and then same thing on my mother's side. Originally, that side of the family is from Texas. Also, I have my grandmother grew up on the reservation, so still trying to kind of figure out delineations of, what specific type of Indigenous American, but there's a lot going on in this space.
Yeah.
I'm Apache Mescalero, but I'm probably Indigenous. It's a mix of things. So, after that happened, I started looking at this, just in my own research. I read a lot also. I was looking at soil panels in comparison to a blood panel. I'm like, we're testing for the same thing. The soil is the problem. The soil is the root cause.
100%.
So I just I went for that, and then I have 3 years of this is my 4th year, 4 years of small-scale commercial growing experience.
Okay.
I went to Brazil to learn about some tropic agroforestry systems.
What part?
San Miguel.
Okay, I understand.
on
Yeah,
the east
yeah,
side.
yeah.
And then I went to went to Oregon to do an apprenticeship there because I had to get hours for my program,
Yeah.
which was cool. And then yeah, I just pivoted here and we're like, why don't you just start your own business? And I did it in May. So yeah, that's kind of been that. And originally it was oriented towards just like community gardens or just backyard gardens. And then I was like, no, we're gonna go farming installations. Because I have my master's degree, for anybody in the BIPOC community that is having some challenges with obtaining land, you need somebody to sign off on it who has a master's degree in agriculture. I'm doing that for free. Management, there is like a reduced cost for it. My objective is just to be able to pay off my student loans and then just do everything for free.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I just launched my CSA today. I'm only doing about 15 shares, but I'm also doing it collaboratively with a couple other farmers.
Yeah.
So they're putting their products in the box, and we're just coming together. I did this as a project at my apprenticeship, but also I've taught a lecture at Merrimack University, which was Harvard's sister school. I've been on Wisconsin Extensions panels, farm to school panels.
Yeah.
Working with Shahid and the Crows, working with Subtle Suits. I'm going to be meeting with Arizona Black Rodeo because they're going to be highlighting me in the rodeo here. I'm trying to ride a bit this year. So, yeah, it's already happening.
So then you know Brother Anthony by chance?
I don't think so.
He's part of the rodeo community here
Cool.
in Phoenix. So
Yeah, I think
he's a community brother too. He's always in the community doing stuff in the community.
yeah, I think he's affiliated with the other club, Copper State.
Yeah, Copper State. Yeah. Yeah.
So I know Shahid and the Crows. I actually spent some time with them several months ago. I brought my kids out, and that's how me and Shahid kind of got introduced. And he shared your information with me. Here we are, So again, to my earlier point, I don't believe in those like meaningless
coincidences. Right.
Synchronicities.
Trying to be intentional about, just capitalizing on those opportunities to connect and just make things make sense for us all, make it equitable for everyone involved. So you mentioned CSA, just recently launched. Can you just give a brief description of what that is and how people can support that effort?
Yeah, so basically what CSA stands for is Community Supported Agriculture. So basically what you do is you're paying for a share of a box. You get weekly boxes with in-season produce. There'll be recipe cards, notes from Farmer Miller, things along that line that are just oriented towards why it's important to be eating in season, how to put a meal together with what's in the box. In that, it's helping the farmers' income. It's supporting equity for the land because we're eating in season. We're not forcing the plants to be growing out of season. And then it's also supporting the consumer because you're getting your nutrition straight from the source. It's not being wrapped in plastic and shipped 2,000 plus miles away brought 2,000 plus miles away from you or to you. So really what it's doing is just overall making us more aware of why supporting our local food system is important, which is because we have been so disenfranchised as a community, but also not aware how we are a part of our food system. So this is just really an opportunity to educate folks. I'm going to be doing various different youth workshops that are oriented towards planting, seeding, transplanting, pruning, how to graft trees. I have plumbing, electrical. I have certifications in permaculture, beekeeping, mycology, holistic management.
Come on.
And I don't want to say you name it, but I got a lot. But in that, I'm just trying to do for community. I also just became Paul Bonco's brand ambassador, which is a 100-year-old artisan boot company. What they do, what I'm going to be doing with them is a 6-month part. I'm their brand ambassador.
Okay.
So they're artisans. So they will measure out your feet. They carve the measurements out of a block of wood. So it takes 4 to 6 months to make a boot. They've had artisans that have worked there for like 30 to 40 years. It's kind of like assembly line kind of situation of things, but one person does the felting, one person does stitching.
Okay.
It's like literally
hands-on.
Yes, I want to do things with legacy work. I've been approached by various big brands, but I want to do things for up and coming, and also people that are really rooted in legacy. And we're going to be doing a lot of storytelling, so I'm going to be doing some things about Penny Blue Hammer, about Shimmy Carver. It's not just the peanut guy, and I'm tired of hearing about these white forefathers and these spaces.
Exactly. People don't know about all the things that he invented too.
So yeah, it's just very oriented. I want to do it like a pamphlet kind of situation in solidarity to George Washington Carver. But yeah, I just think in order to change the system, we must first change self. We need to be weapons of mass
100%.
love and weapons of mass reconstruction.
100%.
So, yeah, starts with self, and also, I think the saying is it takes a village to raise a child, but I think in all actuality, we all need a village. So we all need community.
Indeed.
That's what I had when I was younger.
Indeed.
I had true community.
Well, through us, I mean, we serve as another voice to amplify all those initiatives that you're pushing, especially those that are really championing youth getting involved. I feel like, regardless of what we're doing, ultimately it's not sustainable if we don't enable the youth to be able to bear those torches that we are set to pass. So I think that's awesome. And just being here in this space to hear everything that you're speaking to, but also to see representation of that here is awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah, very awesome.
I appreciate
Yeah, for
that.
sure.
Also going to be doing like a couple of apprenticeships for youth, but also adults. I'm trying to get a team put
the
together.
big dumb kids too. We need
Yeah,
that.
everyone's included. So, yeah, everyone. I think we just need a space to feel invited. I think we have such a negative relationship with the land as brown and black folks because of what our ancestors had to endure. But before, settler colonialism, these were things that our ancestors were doing prior. So, I think there's a level of rematriation or solidarity that you can kind of have, and like from the perspective of just reclamation of the land.
100%.
It teaches us about ourselves in various different ways, and I just think that we really have an opportunity right now to come together as a community to do for each other.
So the pros, interestingly enough, I forgot the elder that owns
Mr.
this.
Knight?
I'm sorry?
Mr. Knight?
Is it Knight? What's his first name?
Oh my gosh.
Anyhow.
Mr. Knight.
Anyhow, so I met that brother, and somehow I was having a conversation with my parents, and my mother used to work with him at the city of Phoenix years ago, and they were like on the same crew and everything. So it's interesting how life kind of brings that full circle. It's a small world type thing. But yeah, they accommodated me and my family really well. I just want to expose my kids there, and just honestly, I kind of want to get into it as well.
Do it.
Like my uncle back in the day was like the only person I knew that was in the horses, cowboy boots, and all of that. And I'm like, yeah, Uncle B, he be on that stuff, right? But like I said, it was like I saw it, but I never really leaned into it. But it's funny how you grow up and it's like you start to rediscover things about yourself. And, these things start to fascinate you. So. Yeah, I'm all about that, and I love this new wave with black folks going
tapping into it, man. Come
man,
on.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's vintage black culture.
Yeah.
So ain't nobody do it like us. Let's keep it real.
100%.
So it look good, it feel good. So I'm glad to see the culture shifting.
Yeah.
I agree.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
All right, we ready?
Yeah, here we go.
Let's journey.
Back here. They just finished taking out the rest of the tomatoes and peppers. So we got a couple different varieties here. I can't necessarily remember some of their names. So then we have some cherries and some heirlooms. And I think these are they're like red bells, or are they hot bells?
Banana.
Banana?
Yeah, you have banana peppers. I think they were just red bellies.
Red bells, okay. So some of them are in that back corner. So I'm going to be trellising those up so that... so I do a lot of like vertical farming as well to increase the amount of output that you have per plant. So basically what I'll do is I'll kind of trellis in the bottom, run through the top of here, and then as the plant continues to keep growing, we're just running the plant through. So one singular tomato seed can put off 100 pounds of tomatoes if you prune it correctly.
Does it depend on the species of the tomato? Or
Yeah, I mean, like if they're cherries, they're gonna be more bush oriented, but heirlooms, you could really just run them. They could continue to keep going if they have enough of a food source, because they're vine plants, more or less. But I don't think I got any cherries in here. And then this is a pomegranate. This would be right after figs. That'll come on.
Okay.
And then this area right here behind us, I'm going to be growing blue corn for an indigenous coffee shop. So they do a spin-off on blue corn mush. So they do a blue corn cookie, so I'm just donating it to them. So they just planted it and watered it in.
Yep.
But
He's waiting for the
oh,
puddles to go down.
why don't you tell us a little bit about watering, Mandy?
So we have our soil here, and as you can see, there's a little bit of puddles throughout. So we're waiting for that to soak down so the water can move through the profile. And then we're going to give it a little bit more water, because with this, if you put your finger in, you can see that it's actually still dry. So once we allow the water to kind of soak in a little bit, we'll give it a little bit more water, allow that to soak in a little bit, just so that we can make sure that the water gets where we need it to be to the little seeds, so we can get our corn going.
Correct. What about when there's a root system like a taproot? Why would you want to make sure that there's water all the way through the profile?
So that the root has access to said water.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Can you talk about, or one of you?
Yeah.
You were talking about soil health earlier.
Mm-hmm.
What exactly does that mean when people say, hey, the quality of the soil has been compromised? How does that happen? How do we resolve that? Or can we resolve
So
that?
diversification of species. So you want to make sure that there's like wood chips, there's perlite, there's all different types of organic material in the soil. When we look at conventional agriculture, there's basically this aspect of conventional ag that's called capping. So water is really a tool. When you have basically like flood irrigation, if you have too much water on like a soil that it's not going to drain super fast, like clay soil for example, you'll get like cracking and it'll look like the skin that's really just dry. So you want to make sure that you're watering in accordance to the soil, the soil that you do have. So there's going to be, like I can teach you about how to know what type of soil you have, if it's silty, if it's a loam, if it's more clay dense, how to build it up. And you want something that's a combination of all of those things, more or less, right? So when we talk about, you said, as you said, not necessarily like amendment is the best word. I don't really like to use that word. I feel like it's not oriented towards like a positive connotation. But you're basically just wanting to make sure that you're adding mulch material and you're constantly feeding it. So laying compost, and you have animals running through here, they're pooping, they're scratching, they're moving things around. Obviously, if you're planting like a row crop, you're not going to have animals running through here. Maybe it will be just to help you like prep the bed. But other than that, it's just oriented towards whatever function or whatever you're specifically growing in the space. Forage, because they, instead of giving them a bunch of supplementation with things, they can get that from the soil, more or less. So then it's also reducing the farmer's costs, having to buy supplements. I always used to say the supplement industry is the second worst thing past pharmaceuticals. Because it's literally the next step. It's like you need to take a green pill, but there's no fiber.
Come on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Come on.
Yeah.
Make it make sense.
But they got people believing that you need it every day.
That's what I'm saying. That's marketing for you.
Come on.
This is gonna be, you haven't put anything in here, but this is gonna be a flower pot. More sunflowers, more figs, another flower pot. We only got stuff planted in this first block, but I'm be doing this with one of our younger apprentices, so we're working on getting a business going for her so that she can get started sooner, more or less. So something that she really enjoys. We've got actually I'll get you guys some peppers. And
that's a corn stalk over there, right?
that is iris.
Iris, okay.
Which one are you talking about? That one?
Right here. Yeah,
oh, okay,
yeah.
gotcha.
Ooh. Okay, so in here we have okra, jalapenos. There's no okra quite yet, but
I see a few. Yeah, a few.
they're
Oh no, that's
coming.
peppers. Those are peppers right there.
This
Okay.
right here.
But,
this
oh,
is
those are
peppers,
peppers.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right, gotcha.
So the earth, the plants put off things in abundance for us, which I find to be so lovely, but also so interesting as a human, because we, as a society here, waste 2/3 of the amount of food that we grow globally, and then we still have people who are hungry because of marketing. Make it make sense.
It's a well-oiled machine.
That's what I'm saying. A whole lot of jalapenos. I need to actually.
They replace nature with a machine.
Yeah. Brought to you by Miseducation.
Come on.
Yeah. Okay. Let me actually just... Probably gonna have to push one of these to walk by it. Maybe I can do it.
Thank you, thank you.
Back here, more figs. Chinese aster. Bees love this. Also can be used as a fragrance.
Lavender?
No, Chinese aster.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
nice.
yeah.
More mulberries.
Watch your step, bro.
And then we've got some watermelons making their way up. But also some other trees back here. But
Yeah.
that front part is it's got some more pretty. And we got a peach tree back here. And I wanted to get you guys some mulberries to try. And even though these are finishing up here pretty soon, coming out of season. Have you guys had mulberries before?
Mm-hmm.
I have a
Thank
long
you.
time ago. But this one's a lot more mature than the one that we saw previously. Right?
Then the first one?
Yeah, the one over there?
The very first one by the coop?
Yeah.
This one is younger.
It is?
That one is older.
Huh.
The trunk is a lot bigger, but also the reason why I didn't have any fruit on it is just because we didn't prune it in time.
Okay.
So basically they'll start pushing out more leaves for photosynthesis. It takes a lot more energy to produce the fruit than it does leaves. So if they're not pruned correctly, then they will not be pushing out fruit.
Workshops, is that somewhat of a new venture for this space, or is that something that...
Everything's new here.
Okay. Okay.
Open to opportunities.
I like it.
So
Yeah.
things that would be oriented towards the youth, like I'm going to be doing things with saddles to suits, so they will bring Moose out here, which is their horse, 4-year-old gelding, kind of get kids more oriented towards like, what does it feel like to touch a horse? Oh my God, I'm around such a big animal, I have to respect it, all of these things, right? Once we get the meat birds, I'll be doing butchering workshops, things along that line. So just teach people how to kind of be more self-reliant or self-sufficient. I say self-reliant, self-sufficient, but also do things in community, because you might not want to butcher, but you might want to learn how to harvest.
Right.
You know what I mean? So we're going to find out what skill set that you specifically want to learn in. Or, you know, my family is, I have quite a few mechanics, people who are in construction, just trading out here. A lot of bartering going on.
Indeed.
That's the original way. So yeah.
You butchered before? Okay. That's something that I remember, like my grandfather and uncles,
Mine too.
You know, talking about that type of thing. But you know,
so level of respect, you got to recognize, you know, their energy just like we are. Right. Give gratitude, give grace. Thank you for your purpose here.
So halal then.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
This is great. Definitely keep us abreast of everything that's going on here. Looking to get involved myself where I can. Send some kids your way, perhaps.
Love that.
And some dumb adults like myself.
Language.
Some learning adults. Let's just say that.
You're remembering.
Oh, there you go. Remember, going back to the roots.
There you go. No, that's real though.
Yeah,
I think that's very real.
Yeah.
I don't know how to articulate that piece, but I feel like when you connect back with the land, there's certain parts of our DNA that is reinvigorated, awakened.
Doing it to community.
Indeed.
It'll come to you.
Indeed. It has to.
It will.
At this juncture, it has to, right? I feel like, again, everything is divine, right? Even the things that we identify as challenges or, you know, perhaps unfavorable at the time, it's their service. You know, something, right? So that journey, that sense of development and growth, it's akin to everything that we speak about, right? But we got to go through those motions too, right?
Exactly.
Got to go through those motions. So,
gotta get your hand dirty.
Indeed. So how long we gonna have?
But also in this, you know, there are people out here who are willing and ready to receive you. So whatever it is that you ask for, it will come to you.
Okay.
Ask and you shall receive, and it shall be given. That's like you said, you know, the fact that you asked for workers, and
here they are.
There it is. All you gotta do is pray to the one over the harvest. That's it. Yeah.
Indeed. I was going to ask you what's the biggest misconception about gardening in the desert, but I think you already answered. Like, because I was under the perception that you had limitations on what you could actually cultivate here. Not true.
In Brazil, they had desertified. I was on, on the coastal side of things, so it wasn't like I wasn't by the Amazon. It was conventional coconut farms, more or less, right? So they regenerated 14 hectares in 4 years by just laying ground cover.
There's a bigger cost to all of the convenience that people have, right? And it's showing up in every aspect of our lives, unfortunately. But I mean, just imagine, like, so 80s baby myself. I'm not. Well,
same.
We all in the same.
Yeah, I'm an 80s baby. What about your 90s?
Okay. All right, we're not gonna be judgmental today, but
look, I'm the last year of the millennial.
Early 90s.
Okay, 96. You are. Okay, perfect.
Oh, okay.
Last year.
All right.
Well, yeah.
So I'm on the beginning of a millennial.
Our generation is like right there, like where, the analog generation of the past and the future generation of like everything that we're amongst now. But after that, I mean, these kids are just, that's all they know for the most part until they're exposed properly. But the benefit that we have, and I feel like where our generation is key, is that we've had those conversations with our grandparents. And we got those stories.
100%.
Perhaps
and the experiences.
The experiences going out there. So that's key. That's key. So, translating that to all the 90s babies and the 2000s.
Well, look, she already got it. We don't need to translate that over to her. She already got it.
For sure.
She remembered.
Sitting.
Let's just say she remembered.
Just sitting. Yeah. I tore my Achilles in November.
Yeah?
Yes. So
playing basketball?
Yes. Me doing
I'm not going to ask what happened. I can imagine.
I literally just closed out and it popped.
Yeah.
Nothing crazy. But it's like, we're not oriented with like, how do I feel today? How does my body feel? Do I go straight to my phone when I wake up in the morning?
Exactly.
Do I drink water? Right. Do I gossip about things that I don't need to be gossiping about?
100%. Energy.
You're a product of your environment. Birds of a feather flock together.
Yeah. Yep.
But you have to sit with self to recognize that it's no longer serving you.
Yeah. So what does the tattoo mean?
Samadhi.
Yeah, Samadhi.
Unity consciousness.
Okay. And it's Arabic?
Hindi.
Okay. Yeah. You spent time in India by chance?
No. Hindi, but it's also in the Vedic tradition. So have Ashe.
Yeah, see, I saw Ashe.
This means feminism in Chinese.
Okay.
I have on my back, make love, not war.
Yeah.
There are no absolutes.
Yeah.
To free ourselves, we must feed ourselves.
100%.
That's from Leah Penniman.
Yeah.
But, yeah, we just need to, truth is the only safe ground to stand upon. Sit with self.
Yeah.
It's already within all of us. You just have to be willing and ready to receive it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And make the leap.
Look.
I told her what I'm getting here is positive peer pressure, so I'm embracing it. That means it's right on time, right?
Yeah.
Right on time. So thanks again.
Yeah, greatly appreciate it.
Much gratitude. At some point, you'll meet the rest of the brothers.
Yes.
Let us know how we can support, right? Beyond what we've already kind of spoke to seed into what you're doing, get the word out, of course. But yeah, I'd love to have future conversations about how we can collaborate here and
on the
our
land
space as well.
For sure.
Yeah.
Like I said, it's a blank campus, so.
I got y'all. Yay.
Love it.
Yep.
Love it. All right. Hey,
that's it, man. Episode 50. This was
bringing in 50 episodes appropriately with this one. So,
come on.
Thanks to our gracious host and the poodles. We got escorts, y'all. We got escorts. Check us out.
Gratitude.
Making sure we safe and following the right path and well accommodated.
Abundance.
Indeed.
Yeah.
Indeed. Beautiful space.
Yeah, it is indeed. Well, here at the L.E.G.A.C.Y, we're unified in action to build, protect, and expand a fruitful legacy of love, equity, growth, ancestry, cooperation, and yield. By inspiring on the agriculture, environmental stewardship, and entrepreneurship, we aim to cultivate a vibrant community
God's
rooted in
gift to
resilience
this
and
land.
sustainability.
2022, the vision was clear. 7 brothers came together. Faith over fear from the